You're listening to BS the podcast with
Benny Philhopper and Sal Zizzo. Enjoy.
I'll text him one day and see if he wants to come on the show, but just dropping names there.
Of course.
So.
Yeah. The worst part about soccer is running. All right, that's my cue to go. So.
Welcome to BS the podcast with Benny Philhopper and my co-host Sal Zizzo. What's up, Sal?
How you doing out there, everybody?
Oh man, it's finally here. We're finally starting this podcast. I feel like we've been talking about it for a long time. I feel like every other week I get asked, when's the Benny Philhopper and Sal Zizzo show coming back out? And I said it wouldn't ever go unless we got Sal back. So this is, I guess a little bit of a sequel, but we're going to do a podcast. We're going to try and do it once a week. We will figure out exactly what day these will come out, but I'm excited about this, Sal.
I'm very excited too. You know, after the Benny Philhopper show ended, there was a gap in my life, and now hopefully this can fulfill it.
Yeah, talk about gaps, man. I was out of Kansas City for a year and 4 months, and now I'm back. The gap has closed, and so has the podcast. So we're back.
Yeah.
Just to get a little quick tidbits out the way so people know what to expect from our show, I think we're going to, like I said, we're going to try and do this once a week. We're going to get really focused on getting the right information out there and getting everybody excited about it when whatever day we decide to do it each week. And I think we need to introduce our third part of the tripod here. Most people won't hear him too often, but Nino, give Nino a hand, everybody. He's going to be our producer. Sal, I'm sure you could talk a little bit about Nino.
Yeah, Nino is my older brother, and he's always been the tech-savvy one in the family, so we're going to let him run the show and see how good he is at this.
He's going to have a lot of stuff to edit out after we're through with him.
Yes, I would agree.
All right, just to get a few more things out there, we are going to have an email address, bennysalthepodcast@gmail.com, for fans to reach out and send questions that they have for our guests every week, things that they want to hear on the podcast, whatever, if they want to curse us out for being terrible hosts and wasting their time. And then we have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube handle. The username will be Benny Sal Podcast for all of those, and we can hashtag Benny Sal Podcast on Twitter as well. And there apparently is no funny or famous Benny and Sal's other than us, since we were able to get that handle.
Yep, there's only one duo, and that's us. Yeah, I'm excited to do this. I think it's going to be really cool getting to interview a different person every week, hopefully give the fans some insight into their lives and, not just the typical stuff you hear on, the websites that they search on, like MLSsoccer.com. And
yeah, we'll try and get some interesting things out there.
Yeah.
And we'll have cool guests. I think our first guest today is going to be a great one for us, because I think he really started off the good moments in the Benny Philhopper show, and that's Andy Gruenebaum. So
I don't.
You really save them all, don't you?
I really do.
Sal, what's that?
He's a beast.
He's a beast.
Thanks, man.
Absolute beast.
Thanks. What makes me a beast, you think?
Your upper body. Your lower body is.
And so that'll be fun, and we'll have good guests, man. We'll have guests from MLS, guys that we've played with.
Yeah.
The more popular the show gets, maybe we can get some other guests outside of the soccer realm, but it'll be always interesting to just have one different guest with different perspectives, and we'll ask them some hard-hitting questions, Sal.
Yeah, I mean, maybe get Elon Musk and like Donald Trump and stuff like that. That'll be in our future someday. It'll be cool.
We'll start with Andy.
Yeah, let's start with Andy and then work our way up.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll have some things to talk about with Andy, obviously with your retirement that you just announced a few weeks ago. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. It was a long 12-year career, and I'm excited for this next chapter in my life. No, it's not going to be easy, but hopefully Andy can give me some tips.
Yeah, and have you found stuff to do since you have some free time now?
No, when you have 3 kids, and you'll know very soon that
I have 3 kids. What do you mean no?
Yes. I forgot that.
Although my third kid, I literally do nothing with him. So
yeah.
He's 3 months old. I just pass him over to Michelle all day, and I take care of the other 2 girls and my dog Frankie. That's about it.
Yeah. So as you know, with 3 kids, there really is no time. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to get back to work so that I can actually have a life. So yeah. So
hopefully,
should we get Andy on the phone right now?
Yeah, let's get Andy on the horn. But hopefully, Destiny's not listening to this podcast, man.
Yeah.
She's not gonna like that anti-family comment you had there.
Hey, we're a family podcast.
But yeah, let's bring him on and have some good questions for him. And I don't know what to say now. Hey, Andy.
Initially, I thought that I was being brought on as like it was an honor, and then I realized that you guys had so many kinks to work out that it's just like, let's waste this on this guy.
Yeah, we figured.
I figured I see right through this nonsense, but I'm happy to be here anyway.
I'm happy to have you. You look like a country music singer today.
That's kind of the look I'm going for.
Nice.
A little homeless, a little country.
Yeah.
I bought a truck, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Oh, did you? What kind of truck did you buy?
F-150.
Oh, nice.
You know, American made.
You and Beasler, right? Doesn't he have one?
Bees has one, yeah.
Bees has had one for 10
Quite a
years,
while,
15 years, I feel like.
Yeah.
Since
I was on the team.
Since he retired from Notre Dame College.
Exactly. Sal, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great.
You're
man.
retired. Sal, you don't have to ever work again. You're retired.
So
Maybe it's...
you've been retired for how long now?
I don't even, since 2014 was my last year. So I am good at this retirement
So you've
thing.
been 5 years retired.
Yes.
Sal has been 5 days retired.
Yes.
What advice would you give him?
Well, first of all, I think Sal was, you played overseas. I assume you weren't a moron and saved some money.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
So you can, Sal, leading up, you had to know this was coming for a little bit. Leading up to it, did you have a plan B in mind? After I retire, I'm going to take X amount of days off. I'm literally going to gain 35 pounds or not, and then go to work doing such and such.
Well, I only recently started watching my diet because I figured I'd give myself a good 6 months to just eat poison. And since then, I've been watching my carbs and sugar intake.
Fair enough. It's a good way to
that
start.
lasted about 4 days, and then I just crushed a cheese pizza just today. But other than that, I haven't really. It's weird when you play. You don't. At least I feel like you don't have to watch what you eat as much because you're literally running around every day. But when you stop playing and your fitness goes real quick, first of all.
It's the first thing to go, yep.
Yeah.
Then your looks.
Then you start getting these love handles, and I know Benny has them, so...
I've had them for a while, so I don't have to worry about that in retirement then?
Yeah. You've always had a pretty darn good dad bod.
Oh, yeah. For sure. I've got
think,
tons of love and tons of love handles.
That's right.
So.
Yeah. Like when in 2014, I think if Benny and I took off our shirts, I think we'd probably have the top 3 in the locker room, maybe.
Yeah, right? No doubt about it. I've always had top 3.
And which demographic?
From the neck up, I think I've had top 3 for a while.
I'm gonna go ahead and disagree with that statement. But
I will say I crept up in the body weight in the locker room for some reason. I mean,
while you were with Sporting or what?
But my stomach would be like 20% body fat, and then everything else would be like 8 or 7, and it really messed up my average. So
I'd say so.
Got it.
Sal, I think like when it comes to retirement and Benny, I could see this happening to you easily, but your mind, like when I was calling games for Sporting, which whatever, but I'm watching what's going on, and at the time the goalkeeper for Sporting that we brought in wasn't what you call good. So my mind is so sharp. And Sal, you could probably know this. Like coming off injury, your mind is there.
Yeah.
It's your body that's like, nope,
absolutely.
nope, you will not do this.
Well, yeah, I feel like the older you get, you rely on your
On your
intelligence
mind,
more than
exactly.
anything else.
You of all people.
Oh yeah, I've had it
realistically,
for.
You of all people, Dad bod.
I've had to be relying on my mind for quite a while because that body never came through.
Yeah, it's like Jamal Charles, man, in football. That guy had so much speed, and the minute
that still gets you, hon.
I believed in him that one year. That there was so much. They said he could come back.
He has Gronk on his team too, Sal.
You know how much money I spent on that guy to acquire him? Oh my god.
I mean, have you started like talking about him making a comeback or what? I mean, you really need
No,
him to come back and
once
play.
he officially retired as a Chief, I said it's time to put this dream away. I believe in him still though. Yeah, but I didn't know. I knew I wanted to coach, and I wanted to run my own thing, but I thought joining up with sporting, in the front office, doing some stuff with the academy, and then also in broadcasting, I was just trying to find my way. I was lost for a good 2 years.
Dude, like I would have told you when I first retired, like I was gonna have it. Everyone thinks it's gonna happen quicker than it does.
Yeah.
But look, it's almost June, and I'm just starting now.
For sure.
When I would talk to some ex-players about like what they did, and they would be like, "Yeah, it took me like 6 months till I really figured out what I was gonna do." And in my head, I was like, "It ain't gonna take me 6 months." But it definitely did.
It took me.
I feel like 6 months is nothing.
Yeah, it took me took me a good 2 years.
Some guys it's a year, some guys it's more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird.
I wouldn't say I was diagnosed with depression or anything, but like I was definitely I was depressed at times. I'm not gonna lie. I was seriously like in Zoolander, like who am I, right? Like that's
Trying to find yourself.
Trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But
it's like college all over again without college.
Yeah, exactly. But the reality of it is you have 6 kids, or 3, but you're raising you're raising 3 daughters.
Rattled.
Rattled.
Yeah.
You're raising 3
Rattled
daughters.
season 2.
3
It only gets worse from here.
Can you shut up? I'm trying to make a point.
Bro, I'm just like thinking about when it happens to me, but I feel like
because we got to bring it back to you.
I just feel like
Sal and I are having a conversation.
It's the 3 episodes, right?
The 2
You're
retired
the
guys.
old man that's retired 10 years ago. Sal's going into it now, and I'm thinking about it in the future. And now,
how
I'm
much
worried
in the
here.
future are we
I'm
talking
worried.
about?
I don't know. I mean, we'll see how long I can keep on keeping on.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's talk about when we were on the Benny Fallheiber show,
You wanna go
episode
there?
3.
You
There
wanna go
was
there?
0 kids in our lives, and now
let's go there.
And we were funny back then.
there's
Let's go
yeah.
there.
Now there's 8 kids.
Let's
in
take
our
a
lives.
time machine back to that. Oh my God, I had less.
Sal's
gray.
got 3 girls.
You've
I've
got
got
2 and a boy now.
Got really lucky with that boy.
Because
Accidental.
you could have been on the Sal train.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
very
a train.
And
that's
that- and
that's
then
a
you
lot
got
of
1 and
weddings
1.
You got to pay for.
And you got 1.
I got 1 and 1.
So what is that? 5-2? 5? What do we have?
Listen,
6-2.
6
to 2.
6 girls amongst
2 boys,
and
yeah.
2 boys.
Jeez.
Sal, you're not going for 4. No chance.
Well,
Retirement's boring, but it's not that boring.
I mean, let's see where my next career takes me. You never say never, but
Okay, Bieber.
we'll see. Like I already got my wife texting me if I'm almost done. So
You mean we're done with the podcast? Because you're in witness protection. The background's all blurry. You look like.
Nino, do you think we can get his voice dubbed into the? Is that right?
That was almost perfect.
People know what I'm talking about, though, right?
I hope so, because otherwise you just look like a moron. I love it.
I was gonna mention the fact that when I called you,
Yeah.
to ask to be a guest on the
yes.
very first
Yes.
podcast, he was getting peed on by his son. Because how old is Gibson right now?
Gibson, we're in the middle of potty training.
He's 3.
Yes, he's
So
3.
he's doing potty training and he's starting to get it, right? And I was on the phone with Andy, and Andy's telling me, yeah, I think he's starting to get it. And then all of a sudden I hear Andy just starting to yell at Gibson, "What are you doing?" just pees all over the
So
place.
we got him out of bed. Like, he still wears a nighttime diaper. This is very interesting. We got him out of bed. I put him on the potty, and he doesn't go. He's like, I don't have to. And I just assume.
You just trust him, right? He's a 3-year-old. He's been there. He's been around town. So you're
all right.
like, you know
So
what?
shut it. First of all, I just assumed he had gone in his nighttime diaper and he didn't have to go. And so all right, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Big mistake.
Yeah.
5 seconds later, the kid's pissing all over.
Yeah.
So anyway, then I'm on the horn with Benny, and I'm holding Jolie, my daughter, who's 9 months, and she throws up all over me.
So you got piss and throw up
and
all over
puke
yourself.
all over myself. It was fantastic.
Wow.
And then it's just as sharp as being on the podcast itself. Getting invited was as clean as what we're doing. Actually, this is great.
Yeah. This
Sal,
is like getting thrown up on.
exactly. For your ears.
Yeah.
What about potty training for you guys? Because that's something I'm going through.
My 2-year-old, whose birthday was in January, just got
started.
potty trained, and she's doing great. Great.
Good for at 2.
2.5.
So yeah, 2.5. Like
Good
not
for
even
you.
2.5. Yeah. So that's been cool.
That's incredible. I found
Boys are, I think, slower.
boys are slower, but
They're not the strongest species there. I think
but-
the male gender. By the way, the male gender
we
is
are
declining.
weak. Yeah,
Yeah.
declining.
There's like Sal and myself. Everybody has more girls than boys now. So
Yeah. I
my
guess you're right.
philosophy
Eventually.
is that they're the stronger gender and they're gonna outlast us. But I just
Well,
don't
I've heard
know.
they're stronger like in the womb. That's for sure.
Bro, I don't know. I think it's Darwin's theory. It's survival of the fittest.
There's
and-
gotta be
and
something
the
to that.
females are
Maybe.
going to outlast the males at some point. I don't know how
And
they're going to
rightfully
reproduce
so. Like,
after that,
we're
but
morons.
they'll find a way.
But bottom line, what I found is this is hilarious because Gibson, he's getting better. He's telling us now, I'm going to poop.
He's telling you when he's going
It's
to pee
great.
on you this time. Hey, Dad, here it comes.
Heads up. But
Mine just
but
tells
the-
me to get out. My 2.5 is like, get out. I
Oh
need
yeah,
privacy. Yeah.
doesn't even want you in there. Nice. So I found that it's like the most emotional time for my kid. He's like, he gets in there. He's like, during it, it's the biggest struggle you've ever heard of. It's dramatic, and then he's like, I love you, and he's like, it's the most emotional.
Well, do you bribe them with candy or anything like that?
We've tried everything, man, and it's just taking its toll. But
We literally like when she's done and she did it, we like throw parties inside the house.
yeah.
Alexa, play this, and we just like go nuts.
Dance party. That's
And
fantastic.
yeah, she loves it. She's like,
But
I'm ready. Like,
But he's like, are you happy that I peed on the potty? Like he just turns into this emotional, like, I can't even explain it. Are you happy that I pooped? He's like, I love you. It's like, I love you too, man. Like, what is happening? Why are you so emotional, right? It's like
it's like
I
a
don't
full
know.
house moment. Like
Exactly.
So everyone
Yeah,
just gives each
yeah.
other a hug.
Exactly.
Everywhere you look, everywhere.
Well, I know what you're not going to be doing.
Yeah, we're going to have to edit that part out.
Yeah.
No?
That was-
We're not singing. Oh yeah, we
You were
lip
just a
sync.
little
We only
off.
lip sync.
Yeah, that's right. We'll do some lip syncing at some point here.
Where
so.
is your keyboard? I knew something feels naked.
Something's off.
Where's
Yeah.
your keyboard?
My keyboard's right here, in front of my computer. It's black
All
and
right.
white.
Well, can we change the subject, or are we going to keep going?
Yeah.
with
I
it?
was just gonna say. Yeah.
There was one thing that I did want to bring up to Andy because I know I think you were an avid watcher.
Of
I know Sal was.
game.
Game of Thrones.
Of course.
You were?
I nerded out hard.
All right. So I never watched any show other than I watched the second to last episode.
So he's an expert.
Of
So he's
the
an
season
expert.
finale. I consider myself a pseudo expert on the.
He watched the second to last episode and the
second
last episode.
Yeah.
No, I didn't watch
So-
the last episode. I know what happened though. So
Oh. Okay.
I feel like
Even
I'm
better.
pretty much
Even
briefed on the
Yeah.
entire series. 11. Was it 11 seasons?
Yeah. It was 8. 8
8
seasons.
Dude, Johnny Russell told me it was 11.
Maybe he found some bootleg shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a word with him tomorrow.
Some
But
Scotland
anyways,
version,
So, one, I want to ask you: is it the best series of all time?
have been.
It could have been.
So the ending was that bad.
It wasn't just the ending. I think, and listen, I was an apologist of the last season. I think I think they did a decent job of moving the storyline. That was English.
My storyline.
Storyline
Gibson?
along. I got caught in between there. My biggest issue with it was like we need to do X, Y, and Z, and then we didn't allow ourselves enough time to do X, Y, and Z. And so everything was rushed. You have, this character.
They could have gone on for 4 more seasons after
sure.
that. After that second to last episode where the dragon just raised everything. There
Easily.
literally could have been 4 more seasons. But no. I remember watching the last episode and them being like pausing it and be like, how much time is left? How much time is left? How are they going to wrap this up in 10 minutes? How are they going to wrap this up in 20 minutes? Like, it was a disappointing after watching it for that long.
Dude,
and for it to
committing
come
your-
to
I'm
like
listening.
that.
I'm listening to what you guys are saying, but for one, the only full episode that I watched for the entire
I know.
episode,
I know.
it was
This
a
is a mistake on
fire-breathing dragon
Yeah.
burning an entire city. Like they could have done that in about 10 minutes instead of 90, right? And then they could have had the 80 minutes to tell some of the other stories.
But the thing
that you're
is,
talking about.
from that time when she makes the decision to do that, what she had.
This is Daenerys, right?
Daenerys, yeah.
Daenerys,
When
my
she,
bad.
when she had. I mean, we're beyond that. Right now, okay. But bottom line is, when she did that to her death, it was like 2 lines later, she's dead. You know what I mean? Like that's how you're
kind
gonna.
of what I'm saying. Like everything, like literally everything was just jumbled into one episode, and things just happened so quickly. I was like, "What's going? What? He just killed her? What? Who?"
And
Huh?
Bran
it's just like,
the
boom,
Broken,
it's over.
Like,
Yeah, so
he
I
has
heard-
the best story.
And then like Jon Snow
What?
is like
The cereal guy.
coolest, baddest dude ever, and he's
the
like
cere-
going to live with the
the guy that-
wildlings. Like whatever, but
Sal.
I don't know. Yeah.
Sal, sorry
Right.
to stop you on your
Sorry.
rant. The cereal guy won it. Was it Raisin Bran?
Yeah, Bran.
Raisin Bran.
Oh, just I thought it was it Raisin Bran.
Yeah. No, there's no.
So Bran, and he was on the throne.
First of all, no
the
one.
entire time. Apparently, that's what I was reading about it. That he was actually on the throne the entire time. Because
I'm still. There's so much missing
I
about
don't know,
what
dude.
his whole
Yeah.
role as a 3-eyed raven was. All this stuff that goes on. There's just too much that was left out that could have been told.
It's honestly like the writers just messed it up the whole thing. I wish the
they
books
packed
would
it
have been
in,
written
Look,
beforehand, and we could have just gone off that.
look, I really hope that some of our listeners out there are. I'm sure they are Game of Thrones avid fans, but I hope there's some that are with me and that really haven't
There
ever
are,
watched it,
sure.
because some of the things that you guys are talking about sounds like you're the silliest humans. I mean, you just said what, a 3-eyed raven?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie Role Models, where the kid with the sword he's fighting? I think it's
a great
McLovin,
movie,
or is
too.
it not McLovin?
Yeah, no.
Paul Rudd's in it.
Yeah, Paul Rudd's in it. Yeah. We'll have him on the show
We'll
one
have
day.
him on
man.
the show,
I'll,
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
text him one day, see if he wants to come on the show. But just dropping names there. Of
course, yeah,
But I mean, you guys sound like just total tools. Let me tell you. Total
And this is
tools.
why you get married and have kids, so you can absolutely lose yourself in stupid things. and not have to work.
football and Game of Thrones.
Exactly.
I want to thank you, Andy, for coming out.
No.
Give me a
look,
handshake.
I
man.
want to thank you, and I want to thank you, Sal, and I want to thank you, Nino, for bringing me into 15 more minutes of relevancy.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
You're back in the thick of things now.
I mean, I can't tell you. My Twitter feed just went up 3 followers. I'm now up to 1,000. It's fantastic. Thank you.
Well, we're back. Andy was a great first guest. I was really excited to have him on the show, and he did not let us down. I think he gave you some good little tidbits in retirement. You feel more prepared now, Sal?
Yeah, a little bit. Andy's an easy guy to talk to, and I really enjoyed our talk. I wish him the best, and hopefully we can bring him on the show another time.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be tough to get him on the show, considering he said he does 4 hours of practice every night. But as soon as I called him, he was well on his way over here, and I think it's a farce. I don't think he's doing anything much. And actually, that literally reminded me of a story that Tim Melia told me recently.
What was
So
that?
Tim has been asked by Andy to sometimes help him out with his camps that he does.
Oh,
the
nice.
coaching.
Okay.
And Tim, being the great human that he is, he accepted, and he told me that the thing that Andy most likes to do at his at his camps
Squats?
are not coach, not exercise,
Yeah.
not teach these kids how to make a diving save or kick a
Basically
goal kick
basically
70
what they're
yards.
there for. Yeah.
all he does is let's get together, guys. What did you guys learn today? Let's just talk it out.
Let's talk about what we did. And they're like, well, what we did is what we just talked about.
These parents are probably sitting around wondering what the hell they're paying this guy for.
But he probably does a great job, so let's give him a shout out. If any goalkeepers out there in Kansas City need any work, Andy Gruenebaum is the guy to call.
Yeah, if you guys need to learn how to, get up in front of a class and give a speech, I think he's your man. But yeah, thank you, Andy, so much for being here. We appreciate it. I think it was a quality first interview for us, and we're just learning the ropes. So it was an exciting.
We're gonna get
first
better
show.
at this, and you guys can give us tips or tell us what you want to see more of, or actually listen more of, and we'll
and let us know.
implement it.
Who you want us to interview next week. I'm thinking maybe an old-time Kansas City player himself might want to come on the show.
Yeah.
You have any ideas, Sal, who that could
Yeah,
potentially be?
I'm thinking Iko Para possibly.
You think we can get him on the show?
I hope so. I think you guys had a pretty decent relationship, right?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. If I can conjure an interview with him. He's sometimes a difficult person to reach out to. So we'll see. He's married now as well. So
Yeah, so we can give him some advice on that.
we'll have to ask Aaron if it's okay for him to come on the show.
That sounds good.
And let us know on our handles. I'm sure you guys remember it. Hopefully our boy Nino can do some good stuff. And how do you do it? You put the Twitter handles and the Instagram handles all on the bottom there, and email and all that stuff. Correct, Nino? Just give me a shake there. You don't need to say yes. All right, thanks,
right.
man. There's a thumbs up. Nino doing his job. All right, well, that's it from the BS podcast. From myself, Benny Fehlhaber, to my co-host, Sal Zizo, and our ever talkative producer, Nino. This is the BS podcast. Thank you so much for showing up.
Peace out.
When